Welcome back. Just smoking and toasting. It's show number 129. We are brought to you by our friends at B&B Butchers and Restaurant in the shops at Clear Fork and Fort Worth and at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston. We tried in the last segment the Crop Circus double IPA from our Bauhaus Brewing Labs in Minneapolis. I thought it was great on the can. It says, and I love anything that starts with this, "Greetings, fellow people of Earth." See, I love it already. Nothing stimulates the human taste buds like a double IPA, and Crop Circus is one of them. See, I like that kind of approach, just kind of like calling it like it is and announcing yourself to the people of Earth.
Like that kind of IPA. I kind of feel like I need to shave my tongue a little bit.
Oh, no, and it's not that. It's not pine coney, though.
It's a resinous, though. It's a little resinous. Like, it's stuck on my tongue. So
sort of like chunks do in a barley wine?
No, those stick on your teeth.
They stick in your teeth. You're right. That is different.
You get to enjoy those later.
That is definitely different. So will the hipsters of the world embrace PBR whiskey?
They have to. It's PBR.
Yeah, it's it was really in the early 2000s that hipsters just totally wrapped their arms around PBR. I mean, it's been going on for a while.
Do you know why
but the early 2000s it exploded.
Hipsters had to wrap their arms around PBR.
Right.
And the reason is because of price point. When you spend that much money on beard and mustache products, you don't have a lot left for your beer. This is
that
what
why?
it is. Yes, absolutely.
You have explained it in a way I've never heard anyone explain that before, and thank you for clearing that up.
I just,
yeah,
that's how I see it.
Mustache wax or whatever.
Mustache wax and beard oil. Serum.
Some guys, Adam's saying some guys use Elmer's glue.
I've actually done that to
make
make my mustache curl.
Did it work?
See, it works great. But that's the cheap way to do it. Now you have to get something called like Dr. Beardo's
mustache wax, and it's like
it's
like $17.95 for a little bitty tin.
Yeah, for like a third ounce tube or something.
New Holland Brewing Company distributes its products through Pabst. That's their distributor, and they received approval last month for Pabst Blue Ribbon Whiskey. That's going to be the label. An inscription on
hold on a second. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Right.
It was Pabst beer, and then they won a blue ribbon, so then they called it Pabst Blue Ribbon, right?
PBR, right.
How can you make Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey if it has never won a blue ribbon?
An inscription on the packaging reads, "This is Pabst Blue Ribbon Whiskey, made from nature's choicest product and made from nature's choicest products. That legend would have it Jacob Best used in 1844 to provide its smooth, complex flavor." The label also notes, and I love this, that the spirit was aged for 5 seconds. Isn't that great?
Aged for 5 seconds.
They do have some. It's new territory for Pabst, but New Holland has some experience distilling whiskey along with gin and vodka. They are not quite ready yet with some of the details, and there's no word on when it will see the light of day, but it's coming. PBR whiskey.
I refuse to call it Blue Ribbon Whiskey until it has won a blue ribbon. It's Pabst Whiskey. You can't just say, "Hey, okay, so the name of my company is number one company." Right. Like that's like, come on, for real?
Yeah.
Like that's not like.
Yeah, I love when you see that on a product. It's like the world's number one brand of whatever. Like they have to to basically say, yeah, that's what we're calling it, not necessarily what it is.
Oh, that's just crazy. Now you can't call it Blue Ribbon until you win a blue ribbon.
All right, so if you are at the highest distillery, and by highest I mean highest in elevation,
yes, nothing having to do with
in all of Scotland. That's something, well, you can prove that, or it could be
not high having to do with a watermelon flavored blunt wrap, but highest as in elevation.
As in elevation, right. Then you might be the folks at Dalwhinnie. And am I saying that right, by the way?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah, how would you say it, Dalwhinnie?
Dalwhinnie.
All right. So Dalwhinnie has a 15-year single malt that Ian is twisting the top on right now. I love that sound. Oh, I love that sound
that
so much.
That was awesome.
That was really awesome. That is almost like whiskey porn sound effects right there is what that's like. Ian, Now, we have not had Dalwhinnie on the show before, have we? We've not tried it.
I don't think we have had it on the show. I've had Dalwhinnie, but I've never had the 15.
So tell me, if you've had Dalwhinnie before, do you have any sense of what I should be expecting here?
Yes. Oh, you want me to tell you?
I want you to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dalwhinnie is going to have some fruity notes. It'll be a little bit lighter on the peaty smokiness. You won't have a whole lot of that going on in there. You're going to have the fruity, airier notes that you're used to in the Highlands. This is like the regular Dalwhinnie is an outstanding go-to.
So when you say the regular, that's going to be what, a 12-year or an 8-year? Yeah.
I think it's the 12. Did you notice, by the way, that our beer cam can double as a whiskey cam?
You know, it's really good when you get components that can do more than one thing, and I'm very happy. Also,
honey.
Also,
no, I'm not calling you honey. It smells like honey.
Let me see your glass for just a moment. I like to show these to the camera. Adam, which camera should I use? In my left hand, this one, that's Ian's pour. In my right hand, this one, that's what he poured for me. So I just wanted to share that with our viewing and listening audience. Ian's pour is about twice as big as mine, is what I'm getting at here.
The reason I do that, there's a scientific reason for this.
A method to your madness?
Yes, actually, it's because right now it's starting to get into our spring season here in Texas, and I have allergies, so it's hard for me to smell some of these things. So I have to actually have more volume to be able to smell.
You have to have it closer to your nose.
That's right. It gets closer. It makes more smell, so I can nose this whiskey.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm getting like apple and fruit on the nose.
Honey,
yes.
I'm not calling you honey. I'm saying honey. Yeah, apple, fruit, honey. Like these are the noseworthy things going on.
This
here
strikes me as a sort of a classic single malt taste, if that makes sense.
Yes. Notice how clean it finishes.
Very clean. With a little bit of minerality.
Yes.
But super clean.
And
when I say a little bit of minerality, like a really good, non-carbonated mineral water sort of a vibe.
Avion water.
Avion water.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. That kind of mineral flavor that you get. Sorry, I just splashed you with that.
I know, and I just enjoyed the drop that was on my hand there. But it does. And I mean that in an extremely positive way. I mean, it's a part of the appeal of the whiskey.
The green apple and honey and
wow.
What all else? There's so many things going on in here. Let's see what they talk about here. Dalwhinnie, the Gaelic word from which the name Dalwhinnie comes, is Dal. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It means meeting place.
Meeting place, okay.
You know, the problem with trying to pronounce anything Gaelic is it can have 17 letters, which equals one syllable, or it could have 3 letters and equals 17 syllables. It's just
tough
you
to
never
tell.
know.
But there's always going to be some chick at the Renaissance Festival playing a ukulele that can pronounce it for
That's
you.
right. That's right. The highest distillery in Scotland was founded on these bleak, windswept central Highland pastures in 1898. The classic Highland malt, Dalwhinnie, ages slowly to develop a remarkable character. I'm going to agree with that. 15 years of gentle aging. I like how they age it gently.
Yeah, well,
versus hard aging.
Gentle is important when it comes to aging.
Gentle aging.
They don't have midgets in the barns throwing the barrels around.
15 years.
But I would pay to see that if it were to happen. But I can understand where it might be detrimental to the single malt.
Barrel aging. All right. Let's see. It makes it a smooth, subtle malt without a trace of harshness. I have to agree with that, too. This is pretty outstanding. Heartwarming, yet also mellow, and honey. They put honey right on there. You can smell it a mile away. It's a combination of delicacy and depth, blah, blah, blah. Let's see.
I'm sorry, did you say delicacy and depth?
And depth.
Oh, depth. I thought you said
delicacy
depth.
and depth.
I was like, wow, now that's a different way to market your product. Delicacy and depth I
by
get. Because
angry, hard aging. No, I'm sorry, I can't go on anymore.
Speaking of angry, our critics are going to be so pissed at me for saying the word midgets because I said midgets would be tossing around the whiskey barrels.
Yes.
I should have said little people, but even then.
You've said it like a bunch of times now, too.
What, midgets?
Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
There's that word.
That shows how
Hidden
insensitive
depths
I truly am.
are also apparent. Smooth-tasting Dalwhinnie yields flavors of creamy vanilla and a heather honey sweetness, finishing in a smoky Highland glow of surprising intensity.
This is a really, really good single malt.
It is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, it's just really got a real clarity of flavors to it.
If you want to get your foot in the door on a whiskey, and you think whiskeys are harsh, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, this is a go-to.
So smooth, yeah,
incredibly smooth. Do you remember the price point on this?
I want to say it's in the $70 range.
Yeah, and this is worth every penny of it. It's amazing. So if you want one to show off to your friends, a little bit of bragging rights, this is an outstanding whiskey.
You can get a cheaper Dalwhinnie. I think you can knock that back $20, $30 by going with more like an 8-year.
Which is delicious.
Yeah. So
like all the Dalwhinnie range is awesome. They also make a cigar malt, which is way expensive nowadays. But no, I'm thinking of Dalmore. Sorry, my fault.
I made that mistake. It is easy, especially being in the U.S., it is easy to get these Scottish distilleries confused. It really is.
Well,
because there's a lot of Glens.
Because there's so many of them.
A lot of Glens and a lot of Dals.
Right.
And so there's there's not a lot of Fred's.
Dalmore is what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah. There's not a lot of Fred's whiskey.
This is absolutely outstanding. I will tell you this: you're not going to smoke a Man of War Ruination with this, but
it's going to call for something more delicate.
Definitely delicate. So in the mild to medium range cigar wise, but man, anything that's a great Connecticut wrapper, a Candela wrapper would go with this. Maduro's on the lighter side.
Mame mentioned this in the segment when we were doing the Smoke Cigar Shop and Lounge as our recommended shop. She mentioned how great the Connecticut was from Aladino, which has not been released yet. But
I will buy a box of that when it comes out.
But when it comes out, everybody that was there, I guarantee you, is going to be buying that cigar, and that would be brilliant with this Scotch. Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
100%.
The flavor profile would match up just
Did I mention,
beautiful.
by the way, and I'm saying this because of one of the comments online, how super clean the finish is on this?
I think you did.
Yeah.
But because the show is very repetitive.
It is repetitive.
I can see why you would say that again.
It is repetitive.
Because the show is very repetitive.
It is repetitive.
I can see why you would say it again.
Dilly dilly.
All right, we're going to take a break. Going to be back with our final segment. In the final segment, we'll be discussing with you the best Scotch under $100. I would be putting this into that mix.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on the list. I don't know if it's on the list, but I would be throwing this one in if I were making the list. But we'll be discussing that, and we'll be finally tasting. And I've been waiting for this because I think you're going to be really excited. Evil Twin Brewing's Even More Jesus. It is a bourbon maple syrup barrel aged imperial stout.
I can hardly contain myself.
We'll be right back at Smoking and Toasting.